Got into welding by going to a vocational school, starting in 11th grade. That's where I took off my career from there. I was told about all the shortages of welders that are needed in the industry, so I knew if I took a career in welding that I would always be needed and I would never be, having to find a job. I used to be a mechanic with my dad, so I figured, I'm really good with my hands, and being a welder would take my, skills to another level.
I first got inspired to be a welder just hanging out with my dad, honestly, going to the job sites with him. He was in the heavy construction, paving industry. So going to his shop and being able to see the welders there that he was so stoked to see. He wasn't a welder, but I kind of always remembered that, and as soon as I had the chance to strike an arc for the first time, I definitely, got on it.
When I started welding, I was following after my father's footsteps and doing construction trades. And I was climbing up a ladder one day carrying a bunch of 2x4s and plywood, and my back was hurting, and I was 18 years old, and I said, this is not for me. So I went to school for motorsports fabrication and auto body, pretty much where it started.
I went to college for creative studies in downtown Detroit for furniture design and blacksmithing. I was exposed to a whole array of materials and processes, and welding kind of just stuck out, and I like the fact that with metal, it doesn't break like maybe glass or wood will, and you can always repair it. And I love the processes. I kind of just stuck in the metal shop at school and kept taking more and more classes, and those eventually led to jobs in fabricating with metal.
Since I've been young, I've been always known as the welder chick, and it's something actually that I'm really proud of. My name's Stephanie Hoffman. I'm the program manager at the American Welding Society of Workforce Development. I travel the country 18 weeks out of the year with the American Welding Society Career and Welding Trailer that's sponsored by Lincoln Electric. I first got inspired to be a welder just hanging out with my dad, honestly, going to the job sites with him. He was in the heavy construction, paving industry, so going to his shop and being able to see the welders there that he was so stoked to see. He wasn't a welder, but I kind of always remembered that. So most of my passion always seems to lie around welding. No matter what I've done, I've always found a way to come back to welding, whether it was, going to school to get my degree in education and becoming an instructor of welding, or traveling the country with a big organization, promoting careers in welding. Honestly, the biggest passion of my life has always been art. I love to create and build awesome, fantastically radical, fire pits and stuff. 6'2" tiki I did. I love to make beautiful furniture, even incorporate some woodworking. I barter a lot of times for tattoos, so that's always been pretty cool to not have to pay for too many of those. So right now, it's a great time to get into the welding industry, especially with all those baby boomers getting ready to retire. The amount of jobs that are going to be opening up, and the people who are in now are going to be getting promoted at such a rapid pace that those entry-level spots are going to be going, vacant basically, without people able to come in there and actually fill those shoes. Types of people that might be interested in a career in welding: somebody who likes to work with their hands, someone who's creative, someone who's competitive, someone who, maybe just likes to kind of be in their own world, not really bothered by too much. You can put that hood down and just kind of rock and roll. This is a very competitive industry. It pays very well, which means you have to be able to read a print, read a tape measure, go over a procedure, understand the scientific side of welding, like polarity and amperages, to filler wire, to your base material, the types of gas you're using, flow rates, preheating, post-heating. There's so much that goes into it. You really do have to be kind of on top of your game in order to really be successful. The best advice I could give somebody that is contemplating it is just give it a try. What's the worst that can happen? Reach out to a friend, ask them, hey, can I stop over and, try that out? I just want to see if I want to take a class. One cool aspect of welding for me has been how I've been able to use it as a thing to bond with my daughter, give her confidence to work with her hands, and, not be afraid to get dirty and get in the shop and do something which traditionally other 10-year-old girls probably aren't going home and with their mom and, using a plasma cutter and running a MIG welder and making little, pencil holders and jewelry racks and stuff like that. Welding to me actually has really been a lot of my identity of who I am. I've always been the welder girl, the girl who builds cool stuff, or, that's kind of always been a big part of who I am.
My name is Akbar Millender. I'm the operations manager here, and I've been welding for 25 years. I started welding in high school. I took a vocational class for 2 years. First thing we did was we learned how to push the puddle, because that's what welding is. You have to be able to manipulate the puddle and push it. We would compete with each other, and I end up getting pretty good. That's how I get this job. I won a welding competition, and that gave me the job here, and I've been here for 22 years. At the time, it probably was only like 15 people here. The position that was open was grinding. The competitive spirit or whatever I was gonna do, I just tried to be the best at it. So I went in the back and I ground until he gave me an opportunity to weld. My mother always told me, you'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Every job they gave me, I took. So I went from grinding to production welding to painting to shearing, to lasers, to robotic welding. So, and what ended up happening is by me just having that type of attitude, willing to learn, wanting to be the best at whatever, now that's how I worked into the position I'm in. It's the difference when you earn something, it wasn't given to me. I earned it the old-fashioned way. I didn't know nobody. Nobody didn't give me the position because I was their cousin. No, I actually worked my way from the ground up. So if you're looking to get into a career in welding, there's a lot of things that you can get into. You can get into an apprenticeship program, go to a vocational school, go to a community college, go become an engineer at a university. It's a trade, and can't nobody take that. It's gonna be around forever. Life is very competitive, no matter what job you have, anything in life, you gotta work to keep it. So I think my parents kind of drove that into me already, so try to be the best.